Hey guys, welcome to my February 2018 Q&A, my monthly Q&A. Already saw that there were viewers, so I started a minute early, and now it's 8 o'clock, so yeah, right on time. So I already saw that there was a couple of questions, so if you guys have not joined me for one of these, X comic, TV show stuff, movie stuff, YouTube stuff, if you want to ask stuff about my comic books, like Folly Daughter and the Dancer, you can. So definitely get your questions there. So let's get started. All right. So let's see what questions we got here. So first is from Kenneth Craley, who says, Kat, who's your favorite X-Men comics writer out of these three? Chris Claremont, Grant Morrison, or Whedon? For me, it's Chris Claremont from that list and probably any list. Definitely Chris Claremont. Kenneth says, Kat, which of these two X-Men series was your favorite? New X-Men by Grant Morrison or Astonishing X-Men by Whedon? And did you ever read those series? I have not read all Morrison's run. I'm not a big Morrison fan by any means. Just not my style of writing. And Whedon, I am a huge fan of, and love his Astonishing X-Men. Especially putting some cool pops out, waves at chat and Cat. I'm here if any problems arise. Thank you, Alan. What was I saying before? Oh yeah, any comic with Kitty in the spotlight, that a spotlight like that is a good comic in my opinion. Kenneth says, do you think Uncanny X-Men will someday return as an ongoing series? I'm sure. Kenneth says, in last one of for now, do you think some of the DC Rebirth now DC Universe titles are reaching a stalling point at the moment? I will feel with some of the books they are a bit. Yeah, definitely. I feel a lot of the titles have been stalling. It's already February, and I noticed that I have not had one DC comic in my pick of the week section because I usually keep a list of all that. Obviously, I've had some in my top 5, but yeah, they definitely are a bit more stalling, and I want more favorite DC titles. So far, right now, the only one I'm really loving and really look forward to is Batman. Not saying I don't like other DC titles. There's other titles I definitely think are solid, like Batgirl. I really enjoy. Yeah, Batman's the only one that I get super excited for, at least from what I can think of right now. Okay, let's see. Got more questions here. Charles Chericho says 10 years of Marvel movies. Have they done enough to keep it going with who they have, or should they do a shakeup? I think they've definitely done enough to make money. I do feel that for me personally, I haven't enjoyed the Marvel movies in recent years as much as I used to. But I hope that's going to be changing with Infinity War, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. I am very excited for Black Panther from the reviews I'm hearing. But the last Marvel movie I enjoyed a lot was Spider-Man. Everything else was just like, all right, same formula, same thing. But I will say a lot of the characters they have covered aren't some of my favorites. I'm not a huge Thor fan or Doctor Strange fan. And I had fun with Ant-Man because I like Scott. So, yeah. And I am very excited for Captain Marvel, especially for me. All right. Alan says, Cat equals Kitty Pryde, #1 fan. I swear she'd be the first person in line at the movie for hers. Oh, totally. I definitely will. Ranger Red says, sup, is Spider-Man's family business worth buying? I don't even remember what Spider-Man's family business was. Hold on. Oh, the graphic novel with his sister. Obviously, no, because it's kind of forgettable. I do have a review for it on my channel. I read it and reviewed it when it came out, but it's okay. I guess if you're reading Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man and want to learn more about Teresa, read it, but I don't think it's amazing. It's okay. It's an okay book. Obviously a bit forgettable. Okay, let's see. Chris, Mount Vernon Kid says, hey, Kat, first question, sis, how are you enjoying Black Lightning? I've been really enjoying it. Definitely one of the better CW superhero shows. I'm one episode behind. I hope to watch it tonight, though, as I organize my comics, planning to watch Black Lightning. I just caught up on The Flash, all caught up on Supergirl. Legend starts out tomorrow, so I'll be watching that live. Only superhero show, at least from what I usually watch, that I'm behind on is Arrow, and I gotta actually binge that soonish because I totally forgot. Me and Jay are gonna be doing our superhero rundown that we usually do for Media Madness right when all the series finales air. So I'm gonna try doing Arrow soon, but I want to binge Westworld before that. So always have a lot on the list to watch. But yes, Black Lightning I am really enjoying. All right, let's see. Scotty Showman says, hi, Cat and Comic Uno peeps. Hope you're having a chill night. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend. Happy Rasuv Day. Kenneth says, Cat, do you think the problems at Marvel Comics have more to do with editorial, or is it more than that? Sal from Comic Pop seems to think it's editorial. I think it's editorial also. Alan says, do you think the Ant-Man and Wasp will be a big hit among teenagers seeing most don't know their history? I don't know about a big hit. I think it's going to be one of those middle movies, and especially, I don't know about teenagers. If it was a Cassie Lang Young Avengers movie, I'd be like, oh yeah, teenagers going to be all over this. But since they are, adults, I think it'll be more about the family, just like Marvel has been targeting is usually the family audience and, obviously fans of the comics. But yeah, I don't think it's going to make a ton of money. I think it's going to be more of the middle ground Marvel movie because regular Ant-Man didn't make too much. And I know some people are disappointed in the first one. So I'm excited for the movie. But again, I've always enjoyed Scott Lang. And I'm a big Cassie Lang fan. So that's why I'm excited. All right, let's see. Jeremy said, I'd be in line right behind Kat when it comes to Kitty Pryde, the movie. Alan says, LOL, I figured you'd be Jay and loving your Twitter reviews, man. Keep it up. Yes, go check out Mr. Jay's reviews on Twitter. He does, as always, awesome TV reviews. Mount Vernon Kid said, thoughts on the Kim Possible live action movie news, little late or not. I will say I'm going to save my thoughts for this for Frontline Live. We do have that marked down as a news piece, so I will save my thoughts on that one. So go check out Frontline Live Tuesday at 10-ish. We usually start. Jeremy says, thanks, Alan. Glad you're enjoying them. I've been having fun with those. Charles says, okay, so follow-up. Marvel calls you and greenlights you to produce a movie using a new character in their universe. Who would you choose besides Spider-Girl? Besides Spider-Girl? Spider-Gwen. I have ideas for a Spider-Gwen movie. So yeah, I cheated a little, but... Kenneth says, Kat, what in your opinion does cause comic book writers to either get fired and let go of a book? Usually controversy does that. Tony says, hi, Kat. Good to see you. Alan says they gotta have Christy and Will as cameos or something, and that was for the Kim Possible movie. And again, I'll save my thoughts on that. Jay's in the comments. Hey, everyone, he says. Hey, Jay. I think I got a text message from Jay. I'm not sure. Let's see. It's from me. Oh, it's from Mike. It is actually our 4-year anniversary for Comic Frontline. It's crazy. Branson wanted to mention that. It's crazy how long we've known each other and how long we've been doing Comic Frontline. We've known each other for even longer because we did Dark Avenger Inc. I believe for 3 years. So we've known each other for like 7 years. That's nuts. And it's cool to see how much comics have changed as we've been doing our live shows. And if you haven't checked out Frontline Live, definitely go check it out. We have a lot of fun with that. Oh, Andy's in the comments, I see. Says he's alive. I'm glad he's alive. Let's see. Alan is happy that Jay's in the chat. People are saying hi to Jay. Jay says, not for me, the text. It was from Mike. I didn't really get to read it, but it was about the 4-year anniversary. Alan says, Jay, ringtone has to be the Skynet theme song. He has his Power Ranger theme song. Jeremy says, wow, 4 years. That's crazy. I know. Time just flies. And Nathan says, hey, Kat. Hey, Nathan. So, yeah, keep coming with the questions, guys. Get 17 viewers. It's pretty cool. I guess I'll also give you guys, and I see more questions coming. Okay, and I'll answer this one. I was going to give you guys some updates, but as we get to another section of the show, we'll do updates. But Ranger Red asks, what music do you listen to as you write comics? I love this question. If you guys don't know, I'm a big music fan. And I listen to music like 24/7. So I listen to a lot of different music when I write my books. So like Follow My Daughter, I tend to listen to very like punky music, rock type music, just because Stephanie's character is very into that scene. She plays guitar, and that's the type of music she likes. So it kind of gets me in the zone to write that. And I don't know, I always felt like indie rock slash punk rock kind of fits like Follow My Daughter in a strange way. And then The Dancer, when I was writing that, it actually is a finished book. So I have finished writing The Dancer, but we're getting that release schedule soon, so I'll let you guys know. But yeah, for The Dancer, I actually end up listening to a lot of score. So some anime score I would listen to. So yeah, different projects calls for different music. If I'm not really going for like different style of music, but usually I tend to do so when I write to kind of get into the vibe of it, I'll listen to Pandora. Got my YouTube favorite list. I'll listen to. I don't know. I listen to a lot of different stuff. So always listening to music. It's kind of how I concentrate. So you always see me with my headphones on. All right. So Kenneth says, Kat, who do you think is more likely to appear on CW's Supergirl TV show in a cameo? Martha Kent, Jonathan Kent, Lois Lane, or Lana? Probably Lois. If we're going to see any of those characters, I would say it's probably Lois. Jay saying, hey, everybody. Jaden says hello to me. Jay says, my text tone is the Power Rangers watch beep, and my ringtone is a Superman movie theme. Charles says, I've been following for that long. I think you're the best comic cast to watch and listen to. You guys have fun. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. We just love hanging out with each other, and we love hearing your comments also and having you guys watch along. So Scotty Showman says another writing question. After you come up with a concept for something like The Dancer, what was the next step in the process to bring it to life? That concept was in my mind for about a year, maybe, I don't want to say a year, but maybe a little less than a year, just a concept. I've always been fascinated with martial arts, and I guess in college I kind of appreciated dance a little bit more because I went to a liberal arts college and there were dancers and actors, so kind of appreciated the art a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, I've always been fascinated with that idea, and I felt like it wasn't something that was explored in comics that much, at least the combination of it, and having something that has to do with movement in a static medium. I wanted to really portray, and also something that's to do with so much of the physical body, making it actually a psychological story. So anyways, plotting is the next way to go. You got to outline your story, kind of figure out what you want with it. And for me, I knew I wanted it to be a mini series, and I figured it out to be a 4-issue mini series. So I outlined it all. And then for me, I tend to write some dialogue here and there to kind of figure out the characters. And I might not even use the dialogue, but I just like hearing their voices a little to kind of figure out the interactions a bit. So I'll do that as I outline, and I might put it in the outline. And then after that, you kind of start writing, and you write thousands of drafts, and get through it. And that's always a process as well. Fun process. So let's see what else we got here. Scotty says, be cool if comic books came with soundtracks. I know like DC had like some single that came out from like Daughtry a while ago. So they try to have music. But yeah, it'd be cool if you could have like a digital song or something. Like when Spider-Gwen came out, like there was this band who did the Mary Jane song, and they did Face It Tiger, and they kind of brought it to life. And I think Marvel actually owns the rights to that now. The band sold it to them. So it would be cool if they like gave a digital copy of that, and you could listen to the Mary Jane song as you watch, read an issue of Spider-Gwen. Maybe one day. We're giving them my ideas now. All right, we got Jeremy. You've been doing YouTube for quite a few years now. What would you say is the biggest change from your channel from the start up to now, besides going from Comic Duo to Comic Uno? I've actually changed up the channel a bit this year. So I used to do in-depth reviews. That's literally how I started the channel. I just reviewed comics, individual comics. And now, just with the new YouTube format, it just felt, and honestly, time-wise, it felt better to do the Comic Uno episode, and even just a fun format to utilize the Comic Uno episode for that. So that's something that's changed. Also, I guess in the middle of all that, I did TV reviews. When Young Justice started, I was like, you know what? I want to review this week by week, and obviously that started a trend for my channel. So those are probably the biggest stuff. I guess live shows, because that wasn't a thing when I started. The community is very different now. Obviously, we could talk YouTube all day. But yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. All right, moving on. Kat, do you like The Flash season 4 so far? No, honestly, I really don't. I've been very disappointed with the Flash this season. I have a lot of problems with it, actually. Let's see. Alan says, yes, come by on Tuesday. We go overtime, especially when it comes to hair. Yes, we do. We love our hair. Jay says, thank you, Charles. If you could bring in one villain and one supporting cast member to Supergirl, who would there be? No embargoes or restraints. So I think that's for me. One villain and one supporting character. Villain? No embargoes. Who would I want? I would love Lex Luthor, just because you got Lena in there. I think it'd be interesting to see Lex. Supporting character, like I mentioned before, I want to see Lois. I want to see Lois's interaction with Kara / Kara. All right, let's see. Andy deleted one of his comments, but I think he did the other one. So hold on. Moving up. Okay. Nathan, what would you like to see in The Flash season 5? A better villain. I wouldn't like to have Ralph off the show. And I want the balance back. I think last year was so dark. So this year they're like, we have to make it like cartoonier and fun. And not that there's not dark elements to the season. I mean, Barry, I don't want to spoil it if you guys haven't been watching the season, but the current arc with Barry obviously was very dark, but I don't know, there, especially with the dialogue, it's just so silly, and it feels like they're targeting more kids than they are the general audience, like these superhero shows tend to do. Even though I know a lot of kids do watch Flash and Supergirl, it feels a bit more kiddier. Some of the plot points they have, and just some of the dialogue writing here. So yeah, I would like to go back to a better balance. Like, it's not that I don't want to see fun with the Flash, because that's how it started with season 1. But I just want to see the tone of season 1 again. And I know they've been having a hardship with that. All right, moving on to Exile State Comics. Justin, what's up, everybody? Hey, Kat. What new DCH of heroes are you most excited about? The one that's coming out this week looked really interesting. Sideways, I think it was called. I didn't like the Silencer. I didn't like Damage. So yeah, Silencer was okay, but it didn't really give me enough for another issue. And the Damage was just like, all right, this feels like Hulk, and that's pretty much it. Definitely didn't give me a hook for the next issue. So I'm hoping Sideways will be different, because it's kind of my alley, which is like high school storyline. So looking forward to that one. All right, let's see. Jeremy says, besides a superhero show, if you could write / be a showrunner for a show, what kind of show would it be? That's a really good question. As someone who's studying television writing, I mean, if I'm just gonna go superhero show, I would have to go Runaways. Just that would have to be the show. And what type of show would I write? Probably a drama, soap opera-ish drama, or even a teenage high school story. That'd probably be my thing. I would like to dabble in sitcoms. I watch a lot. I've never. That was one thing I feel like I would need a writing partner for. I don't know if I could write a sitcom by myself. Drama is a lot easier for me. But I like telling jokes. I like having people laugh. So, I mean, that'd be something that would be a big challenge for me that I would like to tackle one day, is a comedy, besides Motherverses, which is a comedy too, obviously. So, not that I haven't written a comedy in the past. And I like injecting comedy in my other writing too. Okay, so Alan says, oh, we have a God Among Us in the chat. Brand says, happy Frontline anniversary, Cat. Wish I could stick around for the Q&A, but about to grab dinner. Have fun. Well, thanks, Brand, for stopping by, and happy anniversary to Frontline. And enjoy dinner. I'm glad you're having it at 8 instead of 12. Jay says, I just create my own soundtracks. And that's comic reading. Yeah, a couple of haze in the comments. Ranger Red says, if you could hang out with one of your characters, who would it be? Really like that question, Ranger Red. All right. From Like Father, Like Daughter, probably not Casey. Believe it or not, I don't think me and Casey, at least in first impressions, would go well. Because I think Casey doesn't make good first impressions as much as I love writing her. And I love her as a character. And I love how complex she is. I think when she meets people, she probably, again, doesn't make a good first impression. But I guess it'd be between Wes and Stephanie. I'd say Steph because she's just so chill and I love writing her. Not that I love writing all of them, but I love writing Steph. If I have to say who I like writing the most, it's Steph. But I love all four of them. They're great characters. And then for the dancer, I don't want to pick because I wouldn't want to hang out with Mia. Yeah, she's an assassin. That wouldn't be fun. So I would not hang out with Mia. Maybe Sensei. I'd hang out with Sensei, but not Mia. Good question, though. That was fun. All right, so Jeremy says, happy Frontline anniversary. Brent, Jane, Kat, it's been a blast working with you guys. Yes, we love having you on, Jeremy. It's been always fun, especially having you on Media Madness. All right, Andy says, what do you want the Arrowverse lineup of shows to look like in the next 2 or 3 years? Honestly, I would like to see a finite ending for Arrow. I do think it's getting to that point where they kind of ran out of stories. So I would hope in the next 2 or 3 years they say last season of Arrow and give us a really great last season. That way we could fit even more shows onto the network. I hope they figure out this whole scheduling thing with Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow, because I know people were not happy with the way they scheduled it. I would like to see summer shows. You know, that's the big thing I've been saying, is that I think they're trying to squeeze so much with our fall / winter programming. I would really like to see some summer shows. And I think with this new scheduling, they're trying to do so. Like, technically, iZombie could be considered a spring summer show. I think that's a perfect slot for them. So yeah, spread out the love. Give us some shows when we had that long hiatus. So that's kind of what I hope for the CW coming up. So Jimmy says, will you review the Black Panther movie? Of course. I'm going to try to see it Thursday. I haven't got my tickets yet, but should be getting them tomorrow. And I will be reviewing Black Panther, of course. I review all the Marvel movies and all the superhero movies. Alan says, keep up the questions, guys and girls. All good ones. Yes. And Jay says, happy Frontline anniversary to Jeremy. CO says, hi, Kat. Do you think they'll be doing something with Young Justice still in Rebirth? I hope so. I mean, we just haven't seen anything with Cass and Superboy, except for the Super Sons of Tomorrow. So I guess they're giving us glimmers of, this is going to be a thing. But I would say in like the next year or two, we'll get to at least see someone with those characters again. We got Chris, Mount Vernon kid. Ryan Cougar wants to use Kraven the Hunter in Black Panther movie. Now, Panther and Kraven have crossed paths several times. The question would be, would this be cool? Yeah, I mean, I'd be cool with Kraven just being utilized. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Kraven utilized as a Black Panther villain, though, because obviously he's a Spider-Man villain. And of course, I think we'll get to the moment where if he was used for Black Panther, where the mainstream audience would say, well, Kraven's a Black Panther villain. What are you talking about? And like people, have a misconception of that in the mainstream audience, which will be interesting. It's like, no, he was originally a Spider-Man villain. All right, so Charles says, is there a Bizarro Supergirl? Pick that. There is a Bizarro Supergirl. And I think they utilized her in the show already. Alan says, so can I say I've been a part of it for a year now? For Frontline, you definitely have, Alan. Scotty says, overtime on Frontline Live is crazy fun, but sometimes I fear it's the beast that cannot be contained. We fear that too, Scotty. We got Chris who says, would you read a comic crossover between Wonder Woman and Black Panther? I'd try it out. I'm not a huge Black Panther fan, comic-wise, but I try it out, honestly, mostly because Wonder Woman, I would want to see how that would play out. All right, let's see. Tony says, Kat, did you watch the Disney original movies growing up? I have not. I haven't even heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. Jay says, I agree, Kate Crowell. The new name we've given Kenneth on Frontline Live. Jeremy says, I'd go for a high school story as well. I think writing ensemble cast would be a fun challenge. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun also. Oh, sorry, I was loading thing. Let's see. Okay. We got Chris who says, are you going to check out the upcoming Sabrina show on Netflix? Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to be checking that out. Probably review that. Alan says, Disney original movies are just as important as the movie classics. Jeremy says, I wouldn't want to hang out with Casey. I'd say Steph and I'd get tea with Sensei. Same here, Stephanie just seems like a very chill person to hang out with. Like, I would love to hang out with Steph. Casey, I'm telling you, she doesn't make good first impressions. She knows that, though. In my mind, she knows she kind of has lying bitch face. So she knows it, though. But that's not her. That's not Casey. She just has, a lot of childhood issues. So I respect Casey for that. But if I had to hang out with her for the first time, might not be as fun. But I love, no disrespect to Casey, though. Love Casey. Jay says, I want a Superman series on the DC streaming service. I know, Jay. I know. And if there was, we would be covering it. Alan says, which Steph? And then Jeremy says, Steph from Like Father, Like Daughter. Alan says, LOL, yes, thought you meant the Fuller House one. I guess it'd be okay to hang out with the Fuller House, Stephanie, but I'd be like pretty neutral on the idea. Got Wally West who says, hola, cat. Jeremy says, that's Steph for sure, too. I'd join Girl Talk in a heartbeat. Jay says, Kat, if you could give one DC and Marvel comic a series on the streaming services, DC and Disney, respectively, which would they be? Give each one a live action and an animated one. Okay, so, so I'm picking live action and animated, so I'm picking 2? Okay, so I guess I'm picking 2 for each service. So, Marvel live action, Young Avengers for sure. Animated, a relaunch, reboot of X-Men Evolution. DC live action. I mean, they're making Teen Titans, so they already made my dream come true for that. Honestly, cartoon-wise, I would say Stephanie Brown. I would really like to see another Steph. So many Stephs. Stephanie Brown series. Live action. Green Lantern, but Carol better be in it. I would say I would want to make a Carol show, but I don't know if that'd go well. But I need to see Carol. She doesn't get enough love. For, the bearer of love does not get enough love. All right, let's see. Jeremy wants to replace Gia in the band for Full House. Kenneth says, I first discovered Comic Frontline in late 2015 and I've liked the shows ever since. Awesome. You've been with us for a long time. Nathan, do you have DVD sets of the old Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Hulk, etc. cartoon shows from the 90s? And if so, what do you think about them? I've seen them all. I don't know if I have DVD sets of any of them. Iron Man, I don't really remember very much. I've seen it. I probably have not seen every episode. Fantastic Four, I love. Hulk, really enjoy the She-Hulk portions of Hulk. So I enjoyed that aspect of the show. Alan says, Kat, I think that Disney Channel original movies is movies like Halloween Town. Yes. All right, we got Scotty. My issue with writing is it's hard to finish a project when I think of something more fun and new. Do you ever come across this issue? Yeah, I mean, I think it's more not more fun or new. A lot of times I think you get into a roadblock and you're like, oh God, I don't want to go back there and have to figure out how to get out of this mess, and figure out how to plot this thing. So I've had that before, obviously I think every writer has, but yeah, and of course you want to write new stuff too. For me, I try to balance two projects. I don't like doing more than that because then you get overly excited and then you get to the point where like, oh, I can't finish on any of these projects because I have like 10 going on right now. Anytime I have like a plot idea, I'll write it down like, oh, this could be a future storyline idea. And if something comes to mind about it, I'll write it down. But I'll try to focus on two stuff. Now that The Dancer is done, I'll probably brainstorm another story as I write like Father Like Daughter, which obviously a big focus is like Father Like Daughter. And a lot of times with like Father Like Daughter, I guess this is a good example, is that sometimes like the current storyline, I would get really excited for a future one and be like, I want to write that scene, I want to write this and that. So I get that sometimes from the same universe, which is interesting. So Jay says, okay, sorry, peoples, I gotta go watch Star Trek. Well, I'm glad you joined us, Jay. I was surprised, but I forgot it started at 8:30. Andy said, okay, so be brutally honest, because I'm really curious. How many seasons do you see for Legends before it ends? See him making a 5th season, and then ending. I think we'll get another season out of it after this, and then the 5th one will be the end. That's what I see for Legends. Let's see. Kenneth says, which comic book series do you want Tom Taylor to work on next? As much as I love Tom Taylor, I'm going to say to keep the projects he has right now. I don't want him to be a little too overwhelmed, and then his quality is not as good for the comics he's working on now. So I would like to see one of his other titles end before he jumps onto another project, because he has right now Wolverine, Injustice 2, The Deep he works on, and obviously he started on X-Men Red. So I wouldn't want to see more from him right now. I think it just would be too much. As much as I love him as a writer, I want to see his quality on all his books. Maybe if he had a clone of himself, that'd be different. MT says, hey, have you seen Jumanji? I wanted to during like Christmas. I hung out with my family a lot and wanted to go see Jumanji, but my brother didn't want to see it, and we never really got around to it. We saw Lady Bird instead, which I was happy for anyways. I wanted to see Lady Bird, so and I've been on an Oscar binge list right now. I've watched it like every week. I've been trying to watch at least one to get ready for the Oscars. Me and my friend, we like play a game of like we write down who we think is gonna win. We have not bet money yet. We haven't bet anything on it. We'll see if we'll bet anything this year, but especially because we've been very ingrained in watching all of these, engrossed. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of the Oscar movies. But yeah, go back to Jumanji. I guess once it hits Netflix, I'll probably end up watching it because it does look like a lot of fun. It's obviously got a lot of money in the box office, so I'd like to see that. And it got solid reviews too. Okay, let's see. Chris says, Flash, I have say I'm not impressed by your more famous cousin. After watching the musical crossover the 40th time, I feel there would be a good crossover between Barry and Clark. How about you? I want to know if if what's his face can sing, Tyler Hoechlin could sing, and then I'd say yes or no. I don't know. I mean, I think we need to see more of Tyler Hoechlin before we get a musical episode with him, or more musical episodes. NT, hey Kat, check out Warren Ellis's The Authority and Planetary. I have not read any of those. Kenneth says, Kat, of these 3 baseball movies, which ones are your favorite? Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, and Major League. Believe I've only seen Major League, so I guess I'll go with that one. Scotty says, I've been watching Frontline since the 1980s, right after Back of the Future. I came online and watched Kat and Jay do a review on Marty McFly. Totally fibbing. Happy anniversary. Ranger Red says, when did you fall in love with writing, and what do you enjoy the most about being a writer? When did I fall in love? Well, I've been in love with storytelling forever. Just in general, I've always loved stories, television, comics. I always try to pinpoint with my brother, like, what was the first show I ever, like, fanned over, like, was engrossed with. And it was definitely a Disney Channel show. But it was, like, weird. Like, every week, I was like, I need to watch this show. What do you think is going to happen next? Like, I would question and come up with my own storylines. So I was a very creative, imaginative kid. So I've always knew I liked storytelling back then. When I decided I wanted to really become a writer, in college, I would say I kind of discovered my love for writing a bit more there, and my love for journalism in college also. Okay, let's see. Oh, what do I enjoy the most about being a writer? Just coming up with stories, figuring out these characters, and yeah, that's the best part. And then also, honestly, just hearing your guys' opinions, what everyone grabs from it. Maybe it's something I didn't initially plan on doing, and that's still awesome too. I mean, that's what storytelling's all about. It's all subjective, and if you could take something out of it that not even the writer takes out of it, I think that's something special, and that's kind of the gift of stories in general. All right, let's see. Tony says, Kat, how excited are you for the network upfronts this summer? Always excited. Always interested to see what shows they come up with. Especially since network television is changing so much with, streaming sites becoming a big forefront here. Seeing that with the award stuff too. Jeremy says, were you able to find a silent voice? Also, do you think the Oscars will ever give anime any serious award considerations? I think Disney and Pixar monopolized the best animation category. I didn't get to watch Silent Voice yet. It's on my list, which is why I asked Jeremy like last night. I'm like, what movie is this? So I'm gonna definitely on the list to watch, and I wanted to put it on my list. So I did watch the trailer. It does look really up my alley. So excited to see that one. And do I think Oscars will give anime a chance? I hope so. I agree. I think Disney and Pixar kind of monopolized the category. And especially Your Name, I thought that should have been nominated because it was not because of popularity. First, it was a good movie, and B, like it actually was a popular movie both in China and Japan. And just a beautifully, animated film. So, I think the only anime film that's ever won is Spirited Away. And usually it's Studio Ghibli stuff that's nominated. But I would like to see more anime films nominated. Or even foreign language films would be interesting. Obviously, I don't think that would happen, but that'd be cool if it was. Yeah, hopefully one day it's taken a little bit more seriously. Especially this year where I didn't feel like there was a lot of good animated films. So we know Coco's going to win. Not saying Coco's bad, but we know Coco's going to win this year. Anyways, MT, have you seen The Shape of Water or Blade Runner? Blade Runner I have not. Shape of Water I have. I thought it was okay. Definitely liked a lot of the themes, but I felt like the romance was rushed and we didn't really get to see that play out as much as I thought it would. But it's a beautiful film. At least, cinematography wise, it's beautiful. And I understand if it wins directing because I think it's a well directed film. But I don't see it really winning anything else. Jesse's in the comments. He says hello. MT says a new Jumanji actually did better than the first one. I didn't know that. Jeremy says the upfronts are one of my favorite times of years, like the draft day for TV fans. It's true. And we will definitely be covering it for Media Madness as we do. Let's see. Scotty says the Dwayne Johnson has the Midas touch. Kenneth says, Kat, what was the title of your first YouTube video? It was a comic review. So I think it was like a Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man comic review. I think I did something on Power Pack. I have them. Those are the only ones from Comic Duo I have because the other ones had music, so I had to delete them. So the only one I do have is those first 5. You guys could check that out if you want. But they're not good. Jeremy says, what was the funniest comic you've ever read? I mean, I'm sorry, it's not Jeremy. That was Chris. What was the funniest comic I've ever read? I don't know. I really don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Dragon Balls Deep says, you heard about Zoom being back. In the show? Oh, in the comic. Yeah, I read the annual. See how that plays out. I am gonna pick up the Flash Wars story arc. But I enjoyed the annual. Scotty says Oscars should recognize more movies and genres for sure. Yeah, definitely. Wonder Woman was shortchanged in my opinion. MT, have you seen the episode of Black Lightning where Grace Choi references The Outsiders, comic which she and Thunder debuted in? Yeah, that's the last one I saw. That was the 3rd episode, I believe. So I have to still watch the 4th episode. But I did see that reference. That was fun. Here, let's see. And it says, Kat, how would you fix the DC film cinematic universe? I would keep Gal as Wonder Woman, give Henry one more Superman film, and then after that, reboot everything. I don't think we should have another Superman film. And that means it's going to be even longer until they can reboot everything. But yeah, I think after Flashpoint, that's where they should start rebooting. MT says, have you seen Dunkirk? And I thought Blade Runner deserved more than just a tech award nomination. It's definitely deserved the nomination, though. I have not seen Dunkirk. It's actually the only Nolan film I haven't seen. I've seen all the other Nolan stuff, but it didn't seem interesting to me. It did not seem like my type of movie. So maybe one day I'll see it just to, again, kind of complete that I've seen every Nolan film, but it didn't look like it was for me. I definitely don't think I'll be seeing it before the Oscars. 2, I have to still see. I actually haven't seen Get Out, so I'm going to be seeing that next week. And I might try to see Phantom Thread. But the ones from the Oscars I've seen so far, obviously Coco. I've seen Logan. I might see 3 Billboards too, a movie I'm like kind of hesitant on. But anyways, I've seen Lady Bird, I, Tonya. I, Tonya is my favorite so far. And then last night I saw Call Me By Your Name. Then Thursday I saw Shape of Water. So those are the ones I've saw from the Oscars so far. Might be missing 1 or 2, but from what I can remember. Jeremy says, I really felt Coco being half Mexican. Sorry, scrolled up. Half Mexican myself, it made me cry at the end, but that's the case for a few Pixar movies. I really captured the culture well. Yeah, I think capturing the culture was the best aspect. I wanted to cry because my brother saw it before me. I think like a week before, a couple days before. And he said, oh, you're going to cry. It's so sad. And then me and my friend were like, waiting to cry. Not saying it's a bad movie. I really enjoyed the film. I was expecting to cry and I didn't cry, but it was a touching movie for sure. And like you said, Jeremy, it really embraced the culture very well. MT, think we'll get an Outsiders show. If we get a lot of Black Lightning and they want to do a spin-off, I could see that. But not right now. Chris says, I know you're not a big gamer, Kat, but would you want to pick up the new Spider-Man game? I think it's only for PS4, so I don't have a PS4. I have an Xbox. But if it's for Xbox, maybe I'll try it out if it gets like extremely good reviews. Jeremy says, I've actually seen Coco in both Spanish and English. Jeremy says, have you seen Westworld or The Americans? The Americans I've seen a lot of. I'm going to probably binge it all when it ends because I'm like probably 2 seasons behind. Whatever the big plot point with the daughter happened, that's when I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen The Americans, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. The big plot point with the daughter, that's where I stopped watching. So I know it's the last season, so I'll probably binge the whole thing. Very underrated show, but I do like it a lot. And then Westworld, this is my plan, and everyone's like, oh, why did you do this? But I think it's a good plan. So I'm actually probably going to watch it really soon because I wanted to binge it right before season 2. So I didn't have to wait as long as everyone else, you know? So everyone's waiting for so long instead of such a long hiatus because it's such a good show. I said, you know what? I'm going to wait because I haven't seen it. So I'm going to wait until the show, season 2 almost starts so I could binge it and then watch season 2. So that's what I'm doing with Westworld. I should be starting very soon. And we're probably going to do a Media Madness on the season 2 premiere for that. Okay, so Ranger Red, I'm guessing you majored in English. I majored in English too. Which authors you discovered that made you a fan of their work? For me, Thomas Hardy. I actually didn't major in English. I majored in communications. Took a lot of English classes, but I majored in communications and journalism for undergrad, and now for graduate school, I'm doing writing for television. But what was the other question? Which authors did you discover made you a fan of their work? Authors. It's a good question. Come back to me on that, because as someone that's I'm not. I've read a lot of novels for school, but I haven't read novels in a while. That's a good question, though. I would have to go back and think about it. Yeah, I'd have to go back for that. MT says, have you seen Mother? I've not. I've heard very mixed reviews on it. Jeremy says, what did you think of Call Me By Your Name? That's my favorite of the Oscar movies besides Get Out. I liked it. I really liked the colors. I thought cinematography was really good. My friend liked it a lot more, who I watched it with. It's not my favorite out of all of them, but I liked it a lot. But it's not my favorite because I liked I, Tonya more, and I liked Lady Bird a bit more. But I'm glad that Call Me By Your Name was nominated. I think it's also up for adapted screenplay. I don't know if it'll win adapted screenplay, but it'll be interesting to see if it ends up winning Best Picture. I really don't know what's going to win Best Picture. I'm really curious about that. I think that's one of them that's definitely up for it. Obviously it's up for it because it's nominated, but from the nomination list, I think it's a bit closer to get the Best Picture. I really don't know what's going to win Best Picture though. Maybe Get Out. I don't think Lady Bird will win. But yeah, out of all the nominations that I've seen, I liked I, Tonya the most. All right, Kenneth says The Americans is a really good series, very underrated series. Scotty said, stole this question from NBA's to starters. If you had to go your whole life without eating one of these, which would it be? Burgers, pizza, nachos, chicken wings. Burgers would be my answer. Nathan says, what is your reaction of Warner Brothers firing Zack Snyder before he departed Justice League? I didn't hear anything about that, so I would have to look up articles for that one. MT says, have you seen Full Metal Alchemist? I think I get this like every show. I haven't seen it though. NT, have you seen Grant Morrison's Happy yet? I have not. I'm not a big procedural fan, so probably not going to watch it. And also not a big Morrison fan. All right, so I guess I'll give you guys updates of what's coming up, and then as you guys give me your last minute questions, so let's get to it. So stuff coming up for me. If you guys haven't checked out, I had 2 Newsarama articles, in the past week or so. Had the Power Rangers Shattered Grid article with the creative team of that, and also Mayday Parker's 20th anniversary celebration article with the creative team of my favorite comic of all time, which is Spider-Girl. So definitely. And then IGN reviews, of course, I had that this week. I should have the list for you guys of what I'll be reviewing for the upcoming week by Frontline Live. Tomorrow, we have a cool segment coming out for the Blogspot or, the .com for Comic Frontline, which is we're going to pick our top 5 comic panels each week. And then you guys get to vote which was your favorite out of that list. And then by the next article, the voting will end, and we'll keep going every week, and we could see by the end of the year which one will be the best panel. So that should be a lot of fun. So I'll be up probably Monday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon that'll be posted. Again, Frontline Live is Tuesday. That should be fun as always. And Media Madness. We've been doing it on Fridays now. So Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we're having a really fun show. It's going to be TV trivia. So it's going to be Andy, me, Jeremy, maybe Brant, and Jay, of course, picking 20 questions each and asking each other TV trivia. And I might give away something free during that show if you pick the right person to team up with. So definitely check out that show. That will be Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Comic Frontline. And that's it for me, I think, update-wise. Comic book-wise, of course, go check out The Dancer. Go check out Father Like Daughter. And the Kickstarter, hopefully, will be coming out really soon for Father Like Daughter. We're in production for issue 5, and this is a mind-blowing issue. A lot of things happen, so definitely hope you're pumped for that one. Anyways, last-minute questions here, and once I go through those, we'll wrap up. But yeah, just keep asking questions until we do. Let's see. Chris says, Happy is great. Chris Maloney is great. Jeremy says, I have to go with nachos. Couldn't go without burgers. I'm very Jughead in that way. I can't live without nachos. I love my chips. We got, all right, let's see. We got Chris who says, are you going to check out the new Tomb Raider movie? Yeah, I'm going to try checking it out. Gotta try getting a movie pass. There's too many movies coming out. MT says, Happy isn't a procedural show. It's a black comedy fusion of Roger Rabbit and Sin City. It's beyond funny and insane. But yeah, it's still a mystery show. He's a cop. So that's why I say it's a procedural show. But at least somewhat of that format, even if it's has different genres infused with it. But again, I haven't seen it. So, but from what I saw from the trailers, that's what it looked like. Scotty, yes, Spider-Girl article. That's like Jay interviewing Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. What was that experience like? It was awesome. Just talking to my favorite comic creators. It was dream come true. Ranger Red said, I major in communications too. Being a double major was not fun. I should have focused on one major. Did you enjoy any of the communication theories? Yeah, I still think about some of the theories I had to learn. I did a lot of film studies because of communications. I did a lot of, actual communication stuff. You're pretty much forced to take a communication class and interpersonal communications, organization communications, people actually communicating, and then you have the film and production side of stuff. So yeah, I definitely learned a lot with all that. I enjoyed my major. We got MT says, have you seen The Big O or Code Geass? I've not seen The Big O, but my friends Jeremy and Jay have been trying to get me to watch Code Geass. Kat, if Spider-Girl came out with an omnibus release, would you pick it up? Yes, I own everything Spider-Girl related, so I would. Jeremy, just in time, I was about to hop off to check out the new HBO show Here and Now that was created by the guy behind True Blood and 6 Feet Under. Got to tell you how that is. Didn't even hear about that one. So much to catch up on. All right, so looks like that's all the questions, guys. I don't see anything else. So thank you guys for joining. Oh, one more. Have you seen Trigun? I've not. But thank you guys for joining me. This was Comic Uno. Of course, I have a monthly Q&A next month for March. And I'll see you guys later. This is Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links to my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later.